In last video, we discussed about the 5 elements of creation: the generation cycle, the dissolution cycle, and the insulating cycle. In last videos, we discussed about how the ultimate truth, the sattva, has descended from the ether element to the earth element. Okay. In the other video, we discussed about the dissolution and the generation cycle, from ether element to the earth element where we live. Okay. In another video, we discussed about the insulating cycle. The elements are created from the vibrations of the Om, time, and the atom. From those vibrations, Chitta and Manas were created, and from Manas, all the elements are created. The interesting thing about the elements is all the elements add one of the dense qualities to create the other element. Either element is the closest element to the creation. The either element is the space element. Either element allows all other elements to function inside it. Usually we talk about the 4 elements, like we have 12 rashis and 4 elements. So we always talk about these elements. But the 4 elements work inside one element, which is the space element, which is the ether element. Okay. Today we are going to talk about the ether element. All you need to know about the ether element and what happens when you have a dominant ether element in your horoscope. So keep watching. First of all, how do we decide which is the most prominent element in your horoscope? We have planets, we have houses, we have rashis, but we don't see any element. How do we determine which is the strongest element in our horoscope? The strongest element in your horoscope is determined by the Shadbala. Shadbala is a 6-folded strength of the planet, wherein the directional strength of the planet, the exaltation, debilitation, everything 6-folded strength. So all 6 criterias are applied to the planet, whether this planet is prominent or is not prominent in your horoscope. Higher the score of Shadbala, prominent is the planets. We also give the rankings for the Shadbala to understand it easily. Okay, so Shadbala is the key to understand the prominent element in your horoscope. There are 5 elements: ether element, air element, fire element, water element, and earth element. Okay, ether element is ruled by Jupiter. The air element is ruled by Saturn. Fire element is ruled by Mars. The water element is ruled by Venus, and the earth element is ruled by the Mercury. So once we know which planet rules the element, we'll go to the Shadbala and see what is the most prominent planet in your horoscope. The most prominent planet in your horoscope decides the prominent element in your horoscope. If you have prominent Mars and all other elements are below the par, in Shadbala, if you have the highest numbers to the Mars, that means you have prominent fire element. If you have highest numbers for the Jupiter, that means you have either element prominent. So once you know the prominent element in your horoscope, you can now understand what it really signifies. Today we are going to talk about the ether element. Ether element is a space element, which is all about the space. Ether element is the element which allows all 4 others to operate inside it. Okay, ether element, if you have a prominent ether element, you are very wise and you really can understand the words you have read or you have listened to. So you have a greater wisdom. If you have a prominent either element in your horoscope, you have a very greater wisdom in you. you will always feel you have a greater wisdom. You are not easily bogged down. You're always there. You are always backed by greater wisdom, and you're ready to accept and absorb the even greater wisdom if offered. Okay, this is a very prominent feature of the ether element. Everything comes from the ether element. All the 4 elements and everything which we can see around us comes from the ether element. So ether element is very wise, is guided by a greater wisdom, and is open to absorb the even greater wisdom into inside. Okay, these people are very happy. These people are very happy and inspiring. Ether is all about the space. So these people are very tall and well built because they acquire more space in the base space. This series we are going to decode the 5 elements and see what are the effect of each of these elements when they become dominant in your horoscope. Okay, so this was just an introduction video. We discussed a couple of things about the ether element. There is so many things to talk about. We'll talk about all these eventually in the coming videos. Okay, so stay tuned, keep watching Pramanik Astrology channel, hit that like button, share my video with your family and friends, and sending you high vibrations. See you in the next video. Love and peace.